Today we are going to talk about sequences and series. Problem number 1. Do we remember what that symbol means? Nope. Nope. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. It means that you want to find the sum. By sum, I mean add. So it means you're going to find some terms and you're going to add them up. Okay? That n equals 2 tells us that you are starting at the second term and you are going all the way up until the 5th term. So we need to find the second term, the third term, the 4th term, and the 5th term. So we need to find all 4 of those and we need to add them up. Any idea how I'm going to find the second term? Oh.
I know.
Dominic?
You plug them in the equation.
Yeah, you plug in 2. So you use this right here, and you're going to plug in 2. So plug in 2, we get 2 times 2 is 4, add 1 is 5. Plug in 3, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 add 1 is going to give us 7. Plug in 4, 2 times 4 is 8, add 1 is 9. 2 times 5 is 10, add 1 is 11. So those are our 4 terms, but then again, that big sigma sign means that we want to add them up. If we add up all 4, this is 20, 27, 32. Anytime that you see the sigma, you always have to add them up.
Is there another way to do this? I kind of like this thing.
There is another way, yes. And we're going to talk about it later, though. Okay. Another thing we talked about this chapter was arithmetic and geometric sequences. Do we remember what either of those mean? Charlene? Yeah. Arithmetic sequence, you are always adding the same number. Geometric sequence, you are always multiplying by the same number. In an arithmetic sequence, the number that you add every time is called the common what?
Difference.
Yes, common difference. In a geometric sequence, what you multiply by every time is called the common what?
Ratio.
Yes. Okay, so looking at problem 3, find the 23rd term of the arithmetic sequence that begins 1, 6, 11, 16. And you'll notice all these formulas up here. Now, on your final, we will give you all of the formulas, but we will not label them. So, any formula that has an S, what does that mean? Sum. So, any formula with an S means sum. We are now looking for a sum. We are looking for the 23rd term, which is an A of n formula. So we're going to use the formula A of n equals A of 1 plus n minus 1 times d. What does A of 1 stand for? 1, but in general, what does A of 1 mean? First term. In this case is 1. N is the number of terms. So in this case, 23. What is d in this case? Common difference, which for the numbers we have is what? 5. We're adding 5 every time. Okay, so I'm going to do 23 minus 1 is 22. 22 times 5? 110. Add 1. It's 111. Did I tell you all you can use the calculator on the whole final?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. Problem 4, find the sum of the first 17 terms of the arithmetic sequence. So now is when we're going to need to use the S formula. Now, this one is a little bit trickier because there's 2 S formulas we can use. Now, you can always use either one. Generally, it's easier, though, to use one versus the other. Starting with the first formula, if I want to know the sum of the first 17 terms, do I know n? 17. Do I know A of 1?
No.
1. Do I know A of n? A of n would be the 17th term. Do we have the 17th term? No, don't use that one then. Use the bottom equation. Okay, so we are looking for the sum of the first 17 terms. It's n over 2, so 17 over 2. 2 times A of 1, so 2 times 1, plus 17 minus 1 times 5. Now, I want to make sure that we know how to put this in our calculator correctly. So what is the first thing that you all would start with? Parentheses, and then what do you want in that parentheses? 17 divided by 2. Do you want me to hit enter or keep going? Okay, keep going. I'm going to start my parentheses again. So this is what I'm doing. 17 divided by 2. And then I started my parentheses again. Sorry, I know that it doesn't. Ah, there we go. Okay, so 17 divided by 2. And then I'm going to start my parentheses again. And I'm going to do 2 times 1 plus 17 minus 1 you can do in your head. 16 times 5.
So whatever, if there are parentheses inside the parentheses, take them out.
You can still put them in there.
Okay. But you get the same answer if you just put...
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, if you are not sure, put parentheses in. Don't take them out if you're not sure. So in this case, our sum is 697. Problem 5. Well, any questions yet? If you guys have a question, ask. Problem 5, I'm going to change a little bit. Instead of the 8th term, we're going to find the 9th term. So find the 9th term of the geometric sequence. Okay? Not finding a sum, so we don't need the S of n formula, rather. We need this one. So if I want to find the 9th term, a of 1 is the first term, so in this case 2. What is the r? -3. That's what you're multiplying by every time. If you can't remember, take the first term and divide it by the second term, and that'll give you r. Now, this was the type of problem that most of you got wrong in this chapter, and it's because you did not put it in your calculator correctly. So, we're going to talk about the calculator again. Okay, I'm going to do 2 times -3 to the 8th power. Is that the correct answer? What is the issue? I didn't use parentheses. Where do I need parentheses? Around the -3. Is it going to make a difference? Yeah. So you have to remember the parentheses. Is this helpful to go through together or no? Yes. Okay. We have about 5 more minutes, and then I'll give you guys time to work. Anything that's crossed out in your packet, it's crossed out because we haven't done it, just so you know. So 7 and 8 we didn't do, so you don't have to do those. Okay, problem 6, find the sum of the first 6 terms. So we are going to use the sum formula, this one, S of n equals a of 1, 1 minus r to the n over 1 minus r. So in this case, from the previous page, the first term was 2. We have 1 minus, the ratio is -3. 6 terms, 1 minus -3. If I go to put all of this in my calculator, what extra parentheses do I need that I do not currently have written? Whole denominator needs parentheses.
Is that all of those?
Yep. Where else? Around the -3. So those are not in the formula, but you need to know to put them there. So I'm going to do 2 parentheses 1 minus -3 to the 6th divided by 1 minus -3.
So any negative number needs parentheses.
No, but it's not going to be wrong if you put parentheses in.
Okay.
So we get -364. If you are not sure in this case, you can always do the numerator and the denominator separately and then end up dividing those two numbers. Questions is on sequences and series before we go on. Okay, go back to the formulas real quick.
Are we going to get a formula sheet?
So the question was, are we getting a formula sheet? I will give you these formulas, not labeled though, and I will give you the vertical motion equation from this past chapter. The h equals negative 16, that one. Okay, these are not going to be labeled. So first thing you need to know is S of n stands for sum. How can you tell which formulas are arithmetic and which are geometric? Yeah, that's a big one. R is going to be geometric. D is going to be arithmetic. That's one way. Dominic, another way? Geometric is multiplying. The way I remember is similar. Arithmetic always has adding. So any formula that you see that has adding, always going to be arithmetic.
So D is arithmetic.
Yep. Questions is on sequences and series. Okay. I think that this chapter is the one that you all forget the most. Every other chapter, we're not going to go through like this every day. So here's what we're going to do. If you look at page 3. What? Same packet. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Chapter 1, I don't think we need to do all of these problems. So look at the front page and tell me what you want to do together. Okay, we're going to do number 2. What else do we want to do? 5B.
Could you 5A too?
Yeah. Anything else? Okay, problem 2. Order of operations, what comes first? Parentheses. Absolute value works like parentheses, so that's what we're going to do first. Now, please remember, those bars are not decoration. They serve a purpose. Yes, any number that's in the absolute value is always going to be positive. So the absolute value of negative 5 in this case is positive 5. What is happening between the 4 and the 5? Multiplication. So we did the parentheses. Order of operations, what comes next? Exponent. What is negative 2 squared? Positive or negative? Positive. So it's going to be 4 plus 4 times 5. What am I going to do next, the multiplication or the addition? Multiplication. So we end up with 4 plus 20, which is 24.
Why did the brackets go? Just because you made it positive?
Yeah, as soon as you make it positive, the brackets are done. Okay, 5A and B, and then I'll let you guys work on the final review packet. 5A, you're going to start by subtracting 5. So I get negative 3x is greater than 3. If I divide by negative 3, I get x, I get negative 1. What do you have to remember when you multiply or divide by a negative? Sign flips. What happens if I add or subtract a negative? Does the sign flip? No. So I get x is less than negative 1. We're going to have negative 1. Open or close circle? Open. And which way am I shading, left or right? Left. Okay, part B. I need to start by adding 1. Do I add 1 to the left side or the right side? Both. Yeah, 1 gets added everywhere. So those ones cancel. I get negative 4 is less than or equal to 2x, which is less than or equal to 8. I'm going to divide everything by 2. So I get negative 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 4. On a number line, I have negative 2 and 4. Open or closed? Closed. Closed because we have an equal sign. Am I shading in between the two numbers or outside? In between. When do I shade outside? Or.